Oh dear, I wasn't paying attention and it caught up to me. Hey guys, how you doing? Hi, hey, it's Deck. It's Deck Tinkert. How you doing? So, this is not Valhalla, obvious as that may seem. Also, I may or may not sound different. That's because I listened to myself for the first time in months, and I realized I'm a little quiet. So I'm trying to I sound good in my. I just turned it off right now, but I have a playback going sometimes. I sound good there, but when I listened back to it, it was actually very quiet. So I'm working on fixing that. But anyway, so this is obviously not Valhalla. This is the Shoujo, an entirely different visual novel. Came out. Ooh, what was it, like 2 days ago now? The day before? I don't know. It didn't come out. It was re-released on Steam for free. So if you, pardon me, if you like what you see in this and the next week's sessions, literally, you could go pick it up now and completely forget about it. It's free. Like, this ain't costing you nothing. Didn't cost me nothing neither. So this is, if you didn't know, and you are somewhat confused by the title, this was a game made and developed by a 4chan board. If I have my facts straight, it's also bear with the black sides. I didn't properly know that it wasn't going to proper full screen. It was made by 4chan boards. If I remember the story correctly, and I might not because it's been a couple years. Popular Dojin artist. I feel like I knew who it was, but I don't anymore. Did like a little scribbling in like the back of one of their books for like a couple girls who were physically disabled, and then wrote little blurbs about their personalities and stuff. And that particular 4chan board really fucking grabbed onto it. Eventually going full tilt on developing a game around them, adding on to them, adding I think new ones, and just like fully doing a scenario. It's a whole saga. And they dropped it and picked it back up a couple times. But it's here. It is the best game of two known games that has come out of 4chan. So that's one of the few that it's actually got finished. I don't know that they're doing games anymore, which is kind of sad because they made, from what I have heard, is a really fucking good visual novel. So if you don't know the core concept, it's gonna get into it here once I start and stop fucking yapping at you guys. But the core concept is that you, the player, are a guy who is physically disabled because of a heart condition. It happens randomly. He like nobody knew about it, and it got sprung on him. And I don't know exactly what it is, so I'm not even gonna try. But he moves. He gets transferred away from like the normal people school into a school that could more properly accommodate for him for his needs. At which point he meets the various main heroines, who all have various physical disabilities. I think one's like a burn victim. There's another one that's like missing an arm. There's one that's missing an eye, some legs, stuff like that. I have never played this game before. I have heard a lot about it. It seems pretty good, and I'm actually very excited. So for this week and then the next week, this is what we're going to be doing on Friday, on the Friday slot. Valhalla, I'm not going to do like a full route or anything. I don't actually know how long it's going to take otherwise if I wanted to. I just wanted to, came out recently. It's on people's minds. Why not? Valhalla will return in 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see. And then I might pick up Katawa Shoujo back up later. It depends. But without further preamble, why don't we get started? Let the game speak for itself. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer, where deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, borrowed outside of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Okay, I think that's us. I think we're out. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah, yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit more initiative. As I pondered the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. Snowflakes silently following from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. A slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone's approaching me from behind. Sal, you came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times. Never is more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Not bad looking. You wanna go? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line. That was the result. Pathetic.
Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it.
A shy, joyous smile that almost makes me so tense that I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. That's probably healthy. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried.
See, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me.
I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point.
Isao?
I reach up to try and massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms.
Isao?
My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror.
Isao!
The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Iwanako running towards me. All these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help, and the distant clatter of the branches above. Dead end. Well, that was fun, guys. See you next week. Not quite. 4-Leaf Studios presents Katawa Shoujo. Disability Girls, I think it translates to, but don't quote me with that. It was Raida! I knew it! I knew it was Raida! Fuck! In my head, I was like, the proportions aren't nearly right enough. Is that? No, it's an ambule. Yeah, so you'll notice most of these guys are just screen names. They're not like actual real names. That's that. That's that 4chan heritage talking. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. And that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. Strange word. Foreign. Alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. Rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is it really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to help cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I already had a full day by then to digest everything. Them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at a hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I'd gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Jesus fuck. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had any visitors. Barely in the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal, faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. The first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough that now I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that at least there is some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital. Although it was more like a storeroom for books, I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, referring only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of movie mass I was trapped inside of, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would just painfully crash into my consciousness, although the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside just to lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely. And I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. Like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There's this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hasao. How you doing today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions you should be fine. We have all your medications sorted out. We'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hands and take a look at myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. Well, insomnia is maybe it's a symptom that's listing. Jesus. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line. Cold precision. I try to read them, but it's all futile. Can't understand any of it. The tempting only makes me feel sicker. Oh, warfarin. That's cool. All this. For the rest of my life? Every day? I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he didn't say anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents. We believe it would be best if you didn't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisao. Listen. Oh. No, you know what? Yeah, we're going Peanuts rules. All adults share the same voice. Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knows full well I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken with your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? I? As the 24-hour nursing staff that's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. It's a school for disabled kids. I'm trying to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a point of a 24-hour nursing staff, and we wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. I really don't have a choice. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That's what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help. One way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back with a disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by the disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. What can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I can easily yell at something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know it's futile. I look around the room feeling tired of all this. Hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. Clean slate isn't a bad thing. That's all I could think of to get me through this. And it just still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It'd be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll see what my new life looks like. This guy seems bitter, but at the same time, I can understand why. He is kind of a looker. Life expectancy, Act 1. I like his. I like to think he just has a plushie like that. Oh, bundle of Hisao. Is that like a flower or something? The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a hole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like a gate for a school. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably not. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck out thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt pretty good. Moving forward feels good. So I walk towards the main building of Yamaku Academy at this brisk pace. I am alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have. More like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees, and the smell of fresh cut grass, all of the park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. Makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if this feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't really see anyone around. It's kind of weird. Makes me wish there was somebody here so that I could anchor myself to. Something tangible, instead of having to feel that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around catch my attention. Makes me think about hospitals again. How they say that operating rooms are painted green because green is calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprised myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back. Even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there's no way I can go back anymore. Feeling nervous with this realization in my head, I open the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asked for you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yeah, afternoon's probably fine. We should get going to introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow not knowing what's waiting for me makes me really nervous. Speaking of this, I almost missed what the teacher's saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Sure. I mean, isn't it normal? Of course, but I don't like to be the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Take the initiative, you know? Right, but that's no problem. Let's go then. My heart's pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked by the classroom for class 3-3. Rito opens the door and enters. Morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. There's the big step. I know that. There wasn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least, not so soon. Oh, hey, dudes. That guy's missing an ear. That guy has a cane. A lot of normal-looking people. That's nice. I follow the teacher to the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to make the curious gaze of my new classmates. Pretty spacious. Ceiling's unusually high. There's a lot of space left over around and in between the desks. Well, not in this picture, but still. An entire wall taken up by blackboards, and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks, with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom to face the other students. They all look like normal, like students in any other school. Then why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice one of the girls seeming to be missing a thumb on her right hand. It's a little jarring. Oh yeah, there is a lot of space. In this particular... Oh god. Despite the natural tendency to listen to when someone's talking to you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. Now this looks like a gathering of characters. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair. That's pretty eye-catching. Oh gosh, what's happening? Stop. Get away. She looks back at me. As she looks at me, looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it'll make her invisible. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers over at me at the rim of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. So is this cheery-looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. Oh, the one with the blue. She's really hard to miss. I don't know why I didn't notice it when I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except the one girl, the front one, who had only one hand. I cringe a little. Hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. The collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. Exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied with what little I said, though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. Could have gone worse, I guess. I listen to the teacher as he drones on about getting along well, while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently. When he's done, they clap their hands, again, which feels kind of weird. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against the other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Makes me feel a bit bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so I'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain everything that you might want to know. And who else will be able to do that better, right? Oh, I know. Teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we'll be working in groups of 3. It lets me that I know who Michi is. Hello. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is there. Shizune Hakamichi. Now her. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand next to me. I take a seat next to her. No window, of course. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. Hakamichi. Chi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her. The one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she's been staring at me the whole time. She bounces once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short, yet carefully, neatly brushed hair. A pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip. By the way, if you're enjoying the music, I'm pretty sure this was all, like, the music was done by them. It was all original, I think. Maybe almost all original. Anyway, balanced to the tip of her dainty nose and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Deaf, got it, okay. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you? I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan's deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right. He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he?
We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you'd be here today. So soon. Hee-chan, right?
Hee-chan?
It fits, doesn't it?
Did I say that out loud? It's just a surprise. I really like that. I don't really see how.
Fits. You look just like I imagined. You look just like a Hee-chan.
I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Akamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They lift back and forth at each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. This is a weird thought. It's so early in the game, but if I'm going for if someone wants to go for her, do you have to go through her first, or do you find like a book on sign language?
Sorry about that. Hee-chan wants to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, feel free to ask her. You like the school so far? We can play around a little if you haven't had time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it.
Misha stumbles on the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just came straight to class today.
That's no good. You should always try and learn as much as you can about where you're going to before you get there. Not just with school either. Always. Even if it's shipped to the convenience store. Really, Hee-chan?
Learn about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself along with it. Half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything. I may should sign something that ended in a shrug. What was it? I guess it was about me? I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply.
You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal as much as needing help, so stop looking like you just failed the test. Alright. And another thing, you don't have to call Hee-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Hee-chan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep. Shizune is fine.
Okay, that's a lot easier on me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that. Just less so, I guess.
Oh, right, we haven't even touched the assignment. We can start work now, or Hee-chan will get mad.
The assignment's kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class.
Yeah, that too.
Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I mean, no sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message.
After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay?
The assignment's actually very challenging to get through, finding aspects of both being difficult and unnecessarily long. Been there. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than everyone else in the class, despite our late start. Hirune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. Class rep is calm and professional as she looks, while Misha's a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work, and I kind of feel guilty about it. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Muto down at the bottom floor. Just like everything else in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and really modern in contrast to the classic exterior. You kind of hear some people like talking in this, like words. I can hear a dude like talking. Anyway, it's a big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate.
It's a cafeteria.
Used as a statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Mika doesn't seem to care, so we proceed on the line. It's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great, until they realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. Oh, nice! Almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something random and follow Shizune to the table, sitting opposite her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Mika pokes me at the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand signs, so the point escapes me. Are you looking at a person who talks to you as proper and polite?
Did you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guides, so you should ask if there's something.
I wonder. Shizune's death. Just really go for it. No, let's ask about the library. We like to read books. What do we see? Where that is? Oh, yeah. Is there a library in the school? Lately, I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check that out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again.
There is. It's on the second floor. We can show you anytime.
Thanks. I return to my food while the other girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but neither of them translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice a conversation in sign. I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill a silence. No, yeah, I see. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before slumped over her desk at the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she was slowly turning to stone just from her presence. Misha and Shizune don't notice it or don't mind as they walk directly past her to the seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her. Even the classroom slowly fills up with other students, and finally, the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how it's done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time I spent in the hospital that made me feel like this. I've been feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me.
Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hee-chan. We gotta hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it.
Wait. Teacher said I'd have to see the nurse. Where's that?
Is that so? We can only show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside.
We join the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with girls pointing out the senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. Interesting. Oh yeah, the way Japanese schools work. The third years are on the third floor or something. Or maybe not? Shit, I don't remember. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. That's solar panels? It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually part of the main building.
This is the auxiliary building here. A lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' office. They even have a swimming pool.
How is that official?
Don't be silly, Hee-chan. We're for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing facilities are there too. It's the head nurse's office on the first floor. Now, you'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks. Bye. The whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with actual education? I guess it's necessary for a place like this. I walk in, hoping that this really will only be a quick visit like the teacher said. On a white door on the left is a green cross with the text head nurse and a nameplate. A voice from the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room's not large and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cup rings lingering on the desk. Hello there, what can I do for you today? He's young-looking and sort of rugged. Dimples in his cheeks wash an impression away that he smiles. The dimples in his cheeks wash that impression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles like a person who heard this very question hundreds of times. Why, yes I am. It says so on the door, no? You can call me by my name, or just the nurse that like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm, friendly. Right, I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is Hisao Nakai. His eyes light up with revelation as he snaps his fingers. Ah, you're that Nakai. I was just reading your file this morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia that related to congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? He gestures to me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yeah. Good. Well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so let's get this over quickly. We have all kinds of... It looks like his eyes aren't quite closed. I don't like it. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there's a problem. Famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. I feel so out of place, I'm left thinking why he even asked it. Yeah. Just that it's really weird to have so many medical people at school. You'll get used to it. I'm not so sure of that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now, let me just find your file again. He searches for something from his computer and shuffles stacks of papers around, letting my gaze wander around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and ceiling, dark gray laminate flooring, and the equipment you'd expect from the school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging on all four walls. Trying to eat properly, 3 times a day, and from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from the stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So, you already have medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening, or it won't be much help. Apart from that, do you do any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins at his own joke, but I don't. I played soccer a little bit with some classmates. Alright, well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to recommend you refrain from doing that. At least for the time being. Oh. My lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow, but really I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did get it out of burning. Well, never did it out of a burning passion for the sport, just have something to do. Any kind of concussion may be dangerous to your heart, and risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by sudden concussion to the chest area? There's no mention of the cause in your papers. Not exactly. I sidestep the question acceptably, and he glances over at me, over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise will do you some good. We have physical therapy as such available, as I said, but I don't really think you need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming maybe. There's a pool here. So I was told. You were? Very good. At any rate, I'm sure you've been told this before, you just need to take care not to overexert yourself. He wags his finger to emphasize the point. No need really, I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely, no unnecessary risks. Take care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sits them on the desk, obviously content. This is a weird random thought, but for me, I want a picture because there's a lot of extra space on the sides beyond just the box where the game is. Just to remind myself like how I look, I would like a picture of like the protagonist. Not something that the game has to do, just something that'll do maybe next time. Just look over and say like, yeah, you look pretty good. Pretty good. That's it then. Come meet me if you ever need something. I'm ushered out before I even realize it. A quick visit indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building and the auxiliary building, although to my eyes, they still look one and the same. First real look at the other students, so I watch people coming from the school going towards the gate and toward the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they're going. Still, I keep thinking most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. And again, I guess neither do I. Does that make me one of them? One of us? I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The wariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, set a little way apart from the main building complex. This is a fucking giant-ass campus. There's a garden of sorts between the school and the dorms, shrubbery, flowers, and that overpowering smell of fresh-cut grass that fills the atmosphere. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel, because I haven't been outside at all for so long. The dorm building is a big... Oh wow, is that how that works? Ooh, oh. I just wanted to see... Show image, yeah. I wanted to get a good look at this. The dome building is big and made of red brick. Like the others, it feels way too pompous for what it is, so I pushed forward going inside. It takes more time than necessary to fish out the key I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of my dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like in the main building, the halls and doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. Same goes for the elevators at the end of the hallways. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students watching television. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems that only girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. Climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off in the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seems to have a toilet and shower, as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down the hall is by room 119. The nameplates in the rooms adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there's just 2 of us here. Light shines from below the door of room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello, is anybody home? From inside I hear a few movements, then the clicking of way more locks than I thought the doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. It's fucking Harry Potter? What? The spectacles boy is standing in the doorway. He's looking at me very intently through his extremely thick eyeglasses. Who is it? Blind? No, I guess not completely. Why would he have eyeglasses if he was? He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. Breath stinks of garlic. He's Sao Nakai. I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce His face suddenly brightens in realization. He stands back upright, thrusting his hand out in a smiling greeting, almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup, dude? My name's Kenji. Hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcome. There were some suspicious-looking people going in and out of your room earlier. That was probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? People too. You can't judge a book by its cover. Is that a place proverb is left hanging between us awkwardly as I try to think of some way to respond? I'd say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Michelle. Me, I don't know just a chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does that mean I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about this for a while. A wise decision. Yeah, I'm smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I'm not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a moment, searches the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. I slide the key into the lock of the door marked 119. Bleak beige walls, white linen, a desk made of some type of lake wood, ugly curtains. It's no one's room, impersonal, like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting on the foot of my bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet's sitting open, stocked with my clothes. Also, it seems that there's a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. I notice pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, Hee-chan. We've unpacked your things and made your bed. I said if these don't fit, you can usually go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom, and Dad. Hee-chan. Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I hoped I would have. Then there would have been something to do. Still too early. I put the note down on the desktop and lie down to the bed, feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I have nothing with me. I wonder if the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I have nothing to do. The restless urge just keeps growing until I have to stand up. Maybe it was stress or something. I was pretty nervous about it before coming after the entire day today, too. I still am, I think. Yeah, I have to distract myself somehow, so it won't be this unnatural all the time. Tomorrow, I'll get some books in the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now... The bottles of medications neatly arranged by my night table catch my eye. I pick one up and shake it just to hear the contents rattle inside, as you do, and then read the glued-on pharmacy label. Masao Nikai, 2 tablets daily to stay alive. Doesn't really say that, but it could just as well. Okay. Kinda twisted having a life depend on chemicals like this. I relent it a little, but what choice do I have? With a sigh, I begin my new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills from each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosages. That one took some water. Okay. I lie down again, feeling hollow and uncertain. And after that, I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. Doesn't start looking any more familiar. Maybe after darkness falls and long shadows draw across my room like fingers. The sheets feel slightly more uncomfortable, warm, and nest-like against the chill that passes from room temperature here. Soon the lighter shade of darkness that is the ceiling looks like every ceiling does at night, and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. The night beckons me to sleep, and I feel a coldness of unfamiliarity and fear creeping up my spine once again. I keep drifting further away from the world I knew. Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo. I wake up in a strange room. Solid morning light shimmers against the gray ceiling. I'd forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the third room of the year I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that indeed it's me who's supposed to be the one living here. My bags on the floor, my new school's book on the desk, my numerous medications on the night table. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating, until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop a tablet from a foil sheet. Down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under the sheet and stretch my back before getting dressed up. Putting on a new uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent evades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one. Natural one. Feels like a school uniform as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. That goes for other things too, so far this place seems more or less like a normal school. Except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday. Misha's constant laughter and Shizune's sweeping sign language gestures. This feels weird to say, and maybe assume, but like, maybe Misha has, what was it, Asperger's? The one that just kind of makes you blurt out stuff every now and again? Like, without control? Feels weird to assume that kind of thing, just from constant, you know what, forget I said anything. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or, people like them are what passes for normal around here. Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after class yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. The reading club. All through class, the question remains on my mind, so I decided to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if they had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so the top is perfect and evenly flat. Yeah, I've been there.
Sorry, Shishan. Is there something you wanted from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Hichan.
The first thought is that it means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right.
Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student at the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred in at a busy time. Maybe you can help out too.
Turn the mouse down. It doesn't have the scroll wheel thing, so... Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes.
I don't know. Hichan, the truth is it's a local event. And I'm not from this area, so...
She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts chick glasses at the end of her oddly grandiose flourish, and starts signaling hard and heavy.
Huh? Oh. Who cares?
Misha puffs out her chest and shouts Shizune's words at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud, I can see heads turning to look in her direction. What's so loud?
Human beings evolved to each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind the festival will inevitably change with time. Now, it's about delicious food, fried food, and amusing little games you play to win prizes. He clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against the other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. She says she doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though, brushing it off with a care. Without a care. Without a care. We're in the middle of class. We should keep working. That's right, Chi-chan. What? That's right. Chi-chan, are you asking because you're interested in joining club? My eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Maybe Khan also changed, though was that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Mika and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flooded in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with dark long hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. Doesn't seem like she was working in any group, and no one really seems to notice her but me. Is she like a ghost or something? I glance at the teacher who's looking at the dark. Okay, he sees her too. Why doesn't he say anything? Ichan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me after the girl who left? Uh, no, it's nothing. Okay, well, like you were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought we would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Okay, Hichan, perfect. The rest of the class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. Before I have the time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than a little annoyed with only just barely managed to finish all our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. Not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Hichan. Impossible. Really? Really? I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signaling, signing not only everything she says, but also what everyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously, it must be that Shizune can understand it. Eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune? I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really. Shizune can't hear me. It'd be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, at least she's looking at me. This is all really confusing and it'll take some time to get used to. It's not a contest because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with a competitive glare. She stares at me as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I've never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Hichan? Very sure. You're wrong, Hichan. Because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Shizune pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. I'm doing right now, but you can't see. I'd argue more with bell rings. She quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I'd almost forgotten that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Where do you want to eat? In the cafeteria? Ah, that's so plain. Okay, let's go. Plain? I guess. In my old school, I like to eat outside near the back of the building. It was a good spot. I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizune and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classrooms or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Yi-chan, you want to know about the clubs and stuff, right? Right. Right, Chi-chan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask. Exchanging little nods of information, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she's about to deliver a speech. Yi-chan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There's the book club, right, Chi-chan? Great. But it seems like they have all the members they could possibly have right now. Sorry, Hi-chan, it's a really popular one. Okay, but more to the point. Hi-chan, does this mean you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good. Great. That's great, Hichan. Really great. Wah! Wah!
Why is it so great?
A reason. Well, Hichan, other than clubs and the upcoming festival, there is one other thing. Student council.
Let's see. So, school had a student council. Very melodramatic setup. Do you have to tell me that? Two of them knew this because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha's laughing. Shizune quickly retakes control of the discussion in a matter of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. I think it'd be great if we could like find a book and then sign back and forth to her.
Right. Hichan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join.
Why?
Well, for one, we can hang on every day, Hichan. Hichan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shichan's the president.
Starting to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha.
Of course I'm not trying to get you to join because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try and get you to...
So you're admitting that...
No, we admit nothing. I mean, Hichan, of course, would be nice if you joined. We'd appreciate it. But even without that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the works of one's school. Yep, it's true. Hichan, besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school, Hichan?
Can't tell she's being genuine if this is really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying to get to look the cutest, although they're pretty cute to begin with. Well...
So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Hichan.
What? No!
Aw, see, Shichan, of course they wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right. Though, it would be worrying if that went smoothly. Oh well, Shichan knows me candy now.
You were betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Sure, man. Shizune seems very intrigued with this while Misha signs it to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. She seems fun.
Bah, that's interesting, Hichan. Let's play a game.
That's not what I said.
How about rich man, poor man, Hichan? If you lose, you have to join student council.
No, absolutely not.
No, why not?
Because you both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not my goal. But what it means is that both of you can team up and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I'll have to decline.
Hichan, I'm very offended. Are you trying to say you don't trust us?
And we both something so disingenuous?
That makes me sad.
Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin.
In order to atone for hurting your young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council.
Oh!
How about a game of paper football instead of rich man, poor man?
For football?
Yeah, it's a game they play in America. They make a little paper triangle.
Oh, I guess we are in Japan then.
And then you try and shoot it past the goalposts that the other people make with their fingers. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hichan. And it's also played by elementary and middle school children, Hichan. That means it's also a game that really separates the boys from the men.
Like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not really going to play that either. The fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it.
Yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hichan?
She frowns at Misha, telling me that it probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me to student council, but I'm a little curious about what student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anybody who was a member of it, so it kind of interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it won't be so bad.
Okay, Hichan, how about Risk? A game of world domination.
I don't know what that is.
It's really fun, Hichan. You have hyper control of the world with armies and everything.
It's like Shizune would be good at it.
If we want to play, we can do after school. Ah, really, Hichan? It might be for fun, Hichan. Hichan hasn't played in a long time, so if you wanted to, there's no strings attached.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. We'll see you after school at the student council room then, Hichan.
Wait, why there?
Because that's where we keep the game. Wah!
I can tell them how much I do not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end, I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. Oop, shit, there she is again. I'm not fully convinced that she's not a ghost.
During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl, oh, there she is, comes back and sits her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. Fucking I would by now. After school, she and Misha quickly find me by the front door lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right. We're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? Oh, Misha. I don't know, Misha. This seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we go to sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me till I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason it just seems like they would be so plausible. Meeting the student council was as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. There it is. What, that's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. She-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging. Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that! I know you heard me. No excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door of the student council room. It's very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large. Maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table at the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back, that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, maybe? Aside from the table and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. It's gonna be this potted plant in here or something. The most noticeable thing about that this room doesn't have any other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean no? Does that mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hey, John, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks to be a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, it does look kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics of a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try and ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Hee-chan, Shi-chan wants to know you're taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle something like that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. But anyway, no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha! You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. She presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, slow down, Shi-chan. Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world's empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. Oh yeah, wow, that's fun. She says you have no choice but no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Smarter to play defensively here. She has a point. Attack aggressively. It's smarter to play defense in risk. You know what? It's always safe to like wait and see. I think. I don't know how risk is played. I don't think I've ever played risk. I should look it up. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense setup, and I'm not going to wreck it doing anything reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. I wonder if I can like go back and. Ooh. I can't go back. Come on, work. Okay, looking at the board again, I have a pretty. Oh, no. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. The eliminated district glasses victoriously and allows her to tentatively pump a fist in the air as a celebration. Wow! Hey, John, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Chi-chan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5 RNM bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Hee-chan. Your plan needs to be more daring. Ambition! Ambition! I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hee-chan. You didn't take enough risks and when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hee-chan. Bam! What's it to her if I played too carefully? I didn't need to rub it in my face. Well, she got closer. I wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. Damn! What's this? Reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Getting up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is she trying to chomp me into joining the council? Because I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any of their clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine. I'll consider joining the council. I want to take a look at the other clubs before I decide. Really, Hee-chan? You're not just saying that to make us feel any better? Yeah, just not sure I want to. Aww. Okay, Hee-chan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we should really have fun. Let's play more risk, and maybe one day you can beat me, unless we graduate before that. We're feeling less reluctant about joining, you know. Ah, surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe we can play a game, you know, then. To give you a handicap. I might have said that just to make you feel better, after all. Oh, that's cool, Hee-chan. Well, I might have said that to make you feel better, after all. I'll take a glance at the clock on the wall, and I realize I spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. I hear it's that kind of board game. Sorry, I think I have to go. I waited to go to the library, and it's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Chi-chan. We think the library is open? It's on the 2nd floor. You can't miss it. You want us to show you where it is? No thanks, that's fine. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight up the stairs, I run into problems. The 2nd floor hallway is a carbon copy of the 3rd floor one. The picture is different. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them? Or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though. Just barely ajar that I can see it's open and nothing else. It makes sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one's not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone's inside and can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing it is. I gingerly push open the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider in the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively feared something wrong. I instinctively feared doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, I make, hello? On my left is quickly snatched away. Oh, hey. This is clearly not the library, but I think we've met another heroine. I think she's on the cover. This is not what I was expecting. I mindlessly leave the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure, taking center stage in an otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing in the doorway staring at this beautiful girl. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me that she's being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I'm just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. You have to take a seat. Unexpected, considering I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. Fine, I don't know. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. Yeah, there you go. That, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes mean that she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. When I think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. You know, how it goes. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student, Yamaku? Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. On which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I am Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. Isao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing gruffly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod with her quest in stride. Without another word, she steps off of the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whatever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. Sure hope she washed her fucking hands. It's one thing to see different disabilities that the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Jizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I've never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to follow the correct process of the offer or preparing the drink. There you go. So, her voice soft, brings me out of my silent observance. Oh, she is kind of tall. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Whose name it? I mean, some of my classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup and she nods, a small, metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it to be being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakimichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down her teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite the character. I imagine you'll come to like him, most do. This is a nice scene. I imagine him wearing a blazer, but this is fine too. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems to be a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smells quite nice. I hardly think I'd have to choke it down. Thanks, Sato, but it tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. No need to be so formal. Wow, she's even taller than he is, damn. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem like she's tutoring to me. So, what class are you from? I imagine you're one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry? feel like slapping myself for the faux pas, looking at her face, though she doesn't seem to be in the least put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't have enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. So, speaking of clubs, what kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm wanting to get to my feet, rushing to a club right away, it seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good, that's a relief. I've really let my guard down around this girl, to let such a thing slip out. A fact that seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. No shit. I just look over to the window over her shoulder and notice the light coming to the room has a distinctive orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh. Time's gone pretty quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Oh, she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. Seems to come to us as a surprise to her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hisao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to her to allay her concern. No, it's okay though. I mean, the library's still open, right? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had a chance, but Lily seems to know in any case. True. It's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms that I have well enough time to get there. I'll make it going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Well, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I really should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me. Which they seem to have it doing. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I can introduce you. This gets better and better. Pretty hard to deny her offer. Well, if you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes a hold of a straight, retractable cane that's been slipped into the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door of the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Yeah, there we go. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There doesn't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or their dorms. Yuko, are you there? He says it into thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. The origin Apparently, the librarian quickly draws out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser into my desk, and while I was looking for a pencil, afraid a pencil dropped, and I was looking for both of them, and you came and surprised me. Are you all right? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit the library perfectly. Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices some beef in the corner of her eyes and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Check out a book? I'll return one. I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me. You go to the Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, a school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao. Right, Hisao. Pleased to meet you too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget it. Okay. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Oh, you're blind too, are you? Oh, wait, nope. I forgot names. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he should be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How is it any responsibility at all? I don't get. But her objection is so insincere that I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. So there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. Seems to work at least partially, as Yugo seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how could this library so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. I spend more on new books than on my salary, then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome, they waste so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's all right with you. My first impression was right. This library is really big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding out one to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. There are large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood of the room I had the tea with Lillian snuck in here with us, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reached the end of the aisle and found a collection of desks, set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, I discover a nice quiet corner in the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk or reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of several beanbags. Oh, hey. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes it look like she's really into it. And the way she was acting today, I had her pegged more as a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself, as I would anyone else. She is a classmate, after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least a third, if not a full half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I'm shocked and divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself, and I remember that I walked up to her for. Strong foot forward, man. Let's go. Hi, I'm new here. This is Nakai. We're in the same class. I just transferred here the other day. Maybe you don't remember? I did a whole self-introduction too. The girl still didn't say a word, but simply stares at me wide-eyed. I'm still getting used to the place, so I'm trying to meet as many people as I can. So, what's your name? Hanako. Her speech is stuttering and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako, eh? So what are you reading? She gently tips the book backwards so that I can read the title, at the same time hiding her face behind it. She must have noticed me staring before. Life of Pi. I've never heard about it before. What's it about? I do actually... A lot of people know about Life of Pi. Now it's a movie now. The boy and the tiger on the boat. I can see this is taking some time. Sounds interesting. Is it any good? She nods from behind the book but stays silent. She looks kind of tense. A bit like Yuko earlier, but in a different way. More like petrified with terror, I'd say. Oop, shit, she's shaking now. So the mystery delinquent girl tended to be anything but. And she's quivering in a way that makes it look like she's mortally afraid of me. The only way out of this, as far as I can tell, is to try and get a normal conversation going. Is it a library book? I'm looking for new ones to read, but there's, just so many. No, it's mine. Oh, so do you come here often? A huge blush spreads across Hanako's face, and her eyes widen far larger than I thought was possible for her eyes to do so. Uh-oh. Did she interpret my lame attempt at small talk as a feeble attempt to pick her up? I didn't mean it like that. I gotta go do something. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she's nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long, dark hair, kind of shy. She had some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I'd better try and find her. Sure. Let's hold on to these until you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right. I guess I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs a cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing. I just talked to her. Tried to get to know her. Even really managed to get started. Yuko sighs and looks awfully bothered, even more so than she did before. I guess you weren't wrong so much as tactless. Tactless? That girl's a bit of a special case. It's like she never really talks to anyone. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. But again, maybe it's just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, so why, or else they wouldn't be here.
Perhaps I was being a little tactless after all. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casually only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephants in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something, but resists it.
I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way.
Maybe she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. Makes me smile, and she blushes heavily.
What? Did I sound stupid?
No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on the desk really like doing that.
You, find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing. But I had to do it. I hope it's not too inconvenient for you.
Yeah, I did actually want some books, but I left them over there because... I'll just go get them. I fetched my stack of books from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting and returned to the counter.
Wow, you read a lot, don't you?
I surprised myself with the two, honestly. At least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kind of started reading books to fill the time. I didn't really do much else.
You see.
But she didn't say anything else. Just accept my books from me. I guess that's what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind me startles me, making me nearly drop the books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around to see who's talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously.
Who's me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again?
His voice is suddenly strained and quick. Yeah, but we've met before. Yesterday.
I don't think so. I remember someone who I only met yesterday. When was that? What day is today?
I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what?
Prove that we've met before.
You live across the hall. Your name is Kenji. Kenji jumps back, his eyes filled with uncomprehending fear.
You know my name. Damn, this can only mean one or two things. Either we have been or you're not telling the truth, and I just can't remember it, or you were a spy.
He pauses.
Stinking spy.
His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic, at least last time I checked.
How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader.
Kenji points a finger at my face damningly.
I'm like you!
Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room.
Guys, if you pass as Shoujo because of legally denied, you're surely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim, maybe at a distance. Please, you're kidding.
I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh.
Stay there.
Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still, lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could do much damage even if he did.
Oh wait, I see it now. Never really is you.
Playing again, and then once again for good measure, I step backwards, just in case.
What's up, man? You don't look good, I think. Nothing wrong.
I don't know, I just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get proper touch with the people here, and I have no idea if it's because it's me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact either.
That's cute. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a spy and all, but you can never be too careful. It's a hard reality we live in.
Slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living the same reality as the rest of us.
You see? This is how it is in this world. No justice, you see. Even when I lose, I win, because I don't lose the mission.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't matter.
He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand.
Yeah, what happened? With a long face? Do you have a long face?
It's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally. Literally, too. She actually ran away from me. I think it was my fault, really. I'm not really used to all this yet.
A girl? Cute one?
Cute? That's kind of a hard question. She had a nice enough body, really beautiful hair. The face. I guess it could go either way. I think she was cute. She was alright in her own way. Yeah, it's pretty cute, I guess.
I knew it. There are a lot of cute girls here. Strange that this disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. I'm trying to warn you, man, but didn't you listen?
I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets?
Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark, like a black hole. You notice that the number of girls in the school is slightly, but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's a 60-40.
Side note, Kenji, did you know that in a room with 50%, like in a room with 4 girls and 4 boys, when interviewed, the boys will feel like it's a disproportionate amount of girls in the room and feel more comfortable when it's like a 1 for every 3 boys kind of situation. It's weird that way. Anyway, he turns his head to the left and stares off in the distance at nothing.
I went to the entry and I didn't appear that bad. That's just 14%. Oh, I think that a school with such a huge pool of nerves would be a man's dream as well. What I'm about to tell you, blow your mind. Are you ready?
I don't know where this is going, but I don't think I'll be missing much by cutting out now. No, I am not ready. I think as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji starts talking again, knowing that he doesn't really care if my mind is blown or not.
I believe that this school is a battleground. State and 30 central toilet. Oh boy!
Is this where we're going, Kenji? More Harry Potter then?
It's clearly in the number of men and women is a clear sign of how they have come. And since these Cold War transpire, they have superiority in numbers. Another skirmish in a total war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere. In Japan, women outnumber men. It's not a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. In America, women are the majority by a hair. Dwindling the numbers. In the past, to build up over military has always been the clear sign of inner war. Transgender is the first step. Our economy is a badass, and the country itself is small and isolated. You're a huge part of the Pacific in terms of wealth, political value. It's a perfect target. It's so cunning. It's stupid women. June today will come when
Kenji's voice trails off ominously.
it's why you can't trust them. They'll chew you along and kill you. They'll kill me. And all look just like me.
Oh, hell no. I can't stop myself from blurting it out.
Hey, what the hell does that mean?
Who said it? Not me. This is the best I could think of.
No, you're not supposed to say something like that. Oh, so rude. What was I? Oh yes, a vast feminist conspiracy.
Stop, man. Come on, man. I lost you way back there somewhere. Somewhere around feminist infiltration?
Too hard to follow. Cool. I have some bats and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets?
No puppets.
You don't like puppets? Okay. That's what's so cool though, right?
He speaks energetically, smiling almost just before I'm done talking, waving his hand in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too weird. I had it pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear that I was super wrong.
Something on your mind, dude?
Just thinking about what it'd be like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Kenji frowns, looking deeply upset.
You mean that's you? Happy, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. It's my dream. You can't just steal man's dream. What the hell? There's a big last sane man. We've invented the whole last part. And that's the last part is kind of important. There can only be one. Look in that foreign movie where there can only be one. Only one, where there's only one dude left. That was the point.
I have never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. Real nothing burger shit.
Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of other jargon complex conspiracies and cool holds. As Tangled is. Quick, finish my announcement. Beep out.
I'm going to go to bed now. It's extremely late.
That doesn't sound like an analogy, but whatever. I like you. You're so like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain to vast feminist conspiracies to them. The knowledge of terrible terrorism. Later.
He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly it's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through it like a ghost. I don't know if I can fully digest what the fuck just happened, so I give up and try to go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first into bed. It takes me some time to relax and get up so I can get started on homework. It's because the sheets are so cool and covering against my cheeks. It feels good just lying there with my eyes closed. This school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person has a stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony, one would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm just trying too hard. Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off and the words are left echoing off the empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. The place really was more of a school and less a hospital, pretending to be a school than I thought it would be. But nothing else, the scenery's pretty nice. I opened one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. Remember to take your meds, man. Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo. That seems like enough for today. This is create a new save state. Yay! Who's that? Seems like it'd be hard person. Anyway, let's go to main menu. Yes. Hey, there he is. A lady killer. Jukebox, gallery, library, cinema. Oh, that's cool. Do we have the one of like? That's cool. This is nice. This is a good. What the fuck is that? Oh, the pill bottle. No further images not unlocked. Okay. I was kind of hoping we'd get a standing thing. Anyway, it's really interesting. I'm actually kind of hooked. And if it weren't for Valhalla, I'd be doing this. I'd be continuing down this line. But next week is going to be more Katawa Shoujo. So if you're right there with me, you just gotta wait a week, man. Very interesting. But yeah, hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week. Remember to take all of your meds when prescribed. It's very important. Meds are important, especially if you need them. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you guys later. See you.